觉到我们也是作为一个好市民吧，协助警方来抓获凶手，来协助警方来破这个案件。
你现在这个悬红1000块
是网友捐的，捐出来的，对对，捐了1600多，现在还有人在捐，但是我们现在感觉呢已经是够了。我们这1600多呢，主要用于1000块钱是悬赏，另外的钱呢，我们主要用于这个资料的印刷啊，来回的邮费啊，主要是这样子的。钱现在已经够了，所以我们现在，但是也不排除什么呢？如果说随着案件的进一步的这个，如果说迟迟没有消息的话，不排除我们会进一步的捐款，加大悬红的力度，非要把这个犯罪分子给抓出来不行。因为太可气。
那个郑先生，您跟他通过电话，他现在那个身体怎么样？
身体他其实现在已经恢复差不多，但是可能我估计的，因为是不是因为禁止钓鱼的问题，他不出来。我想这可能有多种原因，但是我想呢，无论如何，捞 fishing 也好，或者是一些就像人说的扔垃圾也好，但这绝不能成为你殴打老人的这种理由。这种一个73岁的老人，另外一个60多岁的人，你去这样去暴打他们，而且把郑先生当时打得昏迷过去，这可以说是人神共愤的事情。我绝对不能容忍，在任何一个社会都是不容忍的这样的事情发生的。所以说这个事情呢出来以后，他的女儿呢是在第一时间把这个案件呢贴到了一个我们经常登录的一个渔网上的一个鱼板上。鱼板上以后呢，我看到这个消息呢，很多网友就跟帖说气愤，但我看了以后呢，我感觉气愤是不够的，气愤是一种心情，很快就会过去。但我们一定要有自己的声音，要有行动，因为你仅仅是气愤，没有任何动作是绝对不可以的。那很多人犯罪分子就会以为你们很软弱，我们可以打完一次还再打第二次，所以我们就在网上就发起了这样的一个活动。后来我们就联系到刘军呢，我们两个就志同道合吧，这个事儿来做这个事情。网友吧，总体来说还是很支持这个活动的，要不然捐款也不会这么快。好多人没有来的原因呢，也各种各样的原因都没有来，因为有的人要上班，有人要开店，有人没车，反正就很远。但是呢，我们感觉到我们得到的支持还是很多的。钓鱼是一种很放松心情，一种对呀，是这样的。第一次那个发生在三米考 Lake 那个人被钓友被推下水以后，他们在网上发帖子。就是我呢，当时我还不认识你们这么多报社记者，当时我还以为你还在现代。然后呢，我就认识 Tracy， 你知道刘晨曦，我就让刘晨曦帮我联系，我说你们几个人一定不能把这个事算了，一定要联系媒体。这个是我促使的，让他们跟现代日报联系的，然后登出来。徐斌嘛，后来都给我发帖子说谢谢什么，我说不用谢，我说我感觉这是应该做的。
他们是什么事情？
什么事情？你们是什么事情啊？
这边有一个新闻刚好过来，我们从多伦多来。
什么新闻啊？
就是那些钓友在这钓鱼被那些当地人推下水，然后打一顿过去这样。
当地人会这样吗？
就是啊，对你们来说，觉得这里风光很好，人也很 nice 哈。对啊。
是因为让制造了比较。
对，但是那上面写的是 no fishing， 是应该不可以。
Hey, Victor, welcome to the town of Georgina.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Okay.
This is Michael Monster from B'nai B'rith.
Hi, Michael.
Thank you for seeing us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming here. Come on in.
Right. Let me just get a quick picture of the three of us.
Sure, okay. Okay.
M-O-S-T-Y-N.
Nice to meet you, Victor. Have a seat. First of all, I want to welcome both Victor and Michael with their respective organizations to the town of Georgina. We've had a very good discussion about some of the incidents that have occurred in the town over the last couple of weeks, and we'd all like to make some statements at this point in time, and we'll start with Mr. Wong. Victor.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Victor Wong. I'm the Executive Director of the Chinese Canadian National Council. And thank you, Mayor Grossi, for your comments. And to our far right is Michael Mawson from B'nai B'rith, and I want to thank B'nai B'rith for coming out to this meeting and joining us. My comments are just very, very brief. We are thankful that the Mayor has invited us to this meeting today. And for your gracious invitation, Mayor Rossi, we're very appreciative of it. We had a very good meeting with the Mayor, but I think it was best to hear from him. The CCNC, if I can just outline a couple of things, CCNC issued a news release on September 26th after we learned about this issue, and we had asked that the police undertake a full investigation and involve hate crimes experts, and they have done that. They issued a news release September 27th. And we're calling for visible political and community leadership on this issue, and that's why we're here and speaking with the Mayor today, and really appreciate that you welcome us, Mayor. So I'll just conclude and maybe let Michael say a few words first.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Michael Mostyn. I'm Director of Government Relations for B'nai B'rith Canada. And I'd just like to echo Victor's comments and thank the Mayor for meeting with us today. B'nai B'rith, we're here to support our fellow Canadians in what we view as some hate crimes. Hate crimes are acts against all Canadians. They're acts against all of us, and so when any community gets targeted, we feel it's the obligation for every other community to stand up for those other communities. And that's why we are here today. Nobody should be targeted. Hate crimes are often viewed by some as victimless crimes, but there are victims. There is trauma to the victims themselves that have been victimized in these incidents, but also to the general community. And so we thank the Mayor for meeting with us. We thank the police for the resources that are being put in. And this being during an Ontario election campaign, we call on politicians and candidates of all parties to make sure that hate crimes and targeting of various minority groups are a central issue and are talked about this during this campaign. And we look forward to working with the Mayor to hopefully resolve all of these issues in the future.
First of all, I want to thank both Victor and Michael for being here today. And if I may start by telling you that I have the privilege of representing this community, and this community is a caring, sharing, and a respectful community. And firstly, what I wish to do is to apologize to both of you and the people that you represent for the incidents that have occurred here over the last couple of weeks. That's not what this community is about. We are working with York Regional Police. We are working with all of the resources that are available to make sure that we get to the bottom of these incidents. We do believe at this point that these are isolated incidents, that they are not conducive of the people of this community. They are not conducive of actions that happen on a regular basis in this community. We do believe they are isolated, but we are not going to let go until we get to the bottom of these issues, and we will work with York Regional Police to do so. On top of that, we have engaged the education leaders within this community to talk about the youth in this community and how we can reach out to them to deal with these kinds of issues. I met earlier today with the faith leaders in this community to bring them together and help dealing with these kinds of issues. We in this community have to take the leap forward to make sure that these kinds of things never happen, not only in this community, but in other communities in this province and in this country. In 2007, we should never have to deal with these kinds of issues in these communities, and we should never hear the kinds of comments that we've heard over the last couple of weeks. So my pledge to you as an elected official in this community is to work with all of you. I want to see you back here in this community. I want to welcome you as a friend and as a neighbor to enjoy this community for what it is, for not what you've heard about it over the last couple of weeks. And I reach out to all of my friends in all the communities throughout the Greater Toronto area, and I welcome them to recognize what this community is really all about. So thank you for all being here today, and we'll take some questions.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Victor.
Victor,
Thanks, Michael. Okay.
Victor?
Yep.
When you first began hearing about this and the terminology and the assaults, I mean, what was your initial reaction?
Well, it's of course very troubling.
I mean, some people have never even heard anything like this happening. Were you shocked, disgusted?
Well, it's very troubling, and you know, it's a big surprise in the year 2007 to have these types of alleged assaults, so that's why we made a statement when we first heard about it, and that's why you're seeing us take some action in visiting with the Mayor. I'm very thankful that he's welcomed us today.
Are you happy with what's just transpired? You're leaving satisfied today?
Well, there's still a lot yet to be done. I mean, there are at least 2 cases that are before the courts, and there's an ongoing police investigation. So we want to allow that to run its course. But if you heard from the Mayor, he's reached out to the faith leaders and to the education leaders, to engage the local community. And my colleague with the Brith, Michael, and then myself, we've pledged our organization's assistance in that community dialogue. I just want to point out there have been other cases in other areas, like St. John, New Brunswick. There was a case where the youth targeted international Chinese students, and we worked on another case in PEI where a local family was targeted by some local youth. In both those cases, the local community rallied around the victims, and so I would imagine the same thing will happen here.
I got a question for Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
You, in your statement earlier, last Friday, you said it's unfair and irresponsible to paint your community as a place that is unwelcoming. So is it fair to say that you don't personally think the zero incidents against Asian Canadian fishermen are hate crime related until the further police investigation comes out?
Well, I think it's responsible not to jump to conclusions. I rely on the resources of York Regional Police to do the proper investigation. I've heard about the incidents. I've heard of the individuals that are involved. They are from a lot of different nationalities. I'm going to wait until we hear the final outcome. If there are individuals who have been harmed in any way, shape, or form, and there's an individual right now who is in serious condition in the hospital, and you know, we need to worry about individuals like that, and he's not from the nationality that you're referring to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's still some other fishermen. They got pushed in the water. They got sworn by local folks, but they definitely come from like Asian Canadian community.
Well, and I think, you know, we understand that. We understand the incidents that you're speaking about. We don't know whether these are isolated incidents or not, and that's why we're relying on the resources of York Regional Police to investigate. If we need to address those issues on a nationality basis or a race basis, we'll address it. But I want to wait until I make sure that the resources that are there are doing the proper investigation.
Okay, so on top of a Friday statement, will be publicly denounce the serial attacks against the fishermen?
Do we?
No, I mean on top of the statement you issued on Friday, will you be publicly denounce the serial attacks against the fishermen?
We have. We have already apologized. We have denounced any involvement that any resident of this community has had with any of those incidents. So if it needs to be done again, we'll do it again. We do not condone in any way, shape, or form the incidents that have occurred, and we've apologized to all those individuals, regardless of their race, creed, nationality. Those incidents should not happen, and we will address those issues with the people in this community who are the leaders.
Okay, and also, sorry, very last question, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor.
Have you ever heard of the terminology in particular?
You know, it's interesting that you'd ask me that question. I've been a resident of this community for 20 years. I've never heard the expression. I've taken it upon myself to go and speak to people in this community since those words were uttered, and I'm not going to utter those words. My neighbor happens to be of Chinese origin, and I mentioned it to him, and I'm ashamed, I'm appalled by the words. I won't use them, and I've never heard another member of this community use that derogatory term.
Mayor,
yes.
Did you or your councillor discuss this serious incident in your council meeting?
We did discuss it only to the extent that we wanted to make sure that the proper investigation was being done by York Regional Police. And that would be a normal discussion anyways with our council. We just wanted to make sure that they had given it the proper credence with respect to the issue at hand. So yes, we did discuss it, but it wasn't an agenda item on the agenda that day.
Is there any public statement from the council? Or?
Well, I think at this point in time, council is relying on me to make a statement on behalf of the elected officials in the town of Georgina. If there needs to be a formal statement or a formal motion at some point in time, council will deal with that.
So at the moment, are you doing anything to ensure the anglers who come to this region fishing that they are protect them from being harassed by the local residents? Are you doing anything with the York Regional Police?
We have had extensive discussions with York Regional Police. They have committed additional resources to the shores of Lake Simcoe to make sure that those people that respectfully enjoy the privilege of fishing in a legal manner on the shores of Lake Simcoe, we'll be able to do that.
So do you mean that you're increasing the police forces to patrol the area?
We have been told by York Regional Police that they'll be committing additional resources. If that means patrols or whatever, they've told us that they will do that.
What about bylaw enforcement? Did you use that at all?
Well, bylaw enforcement with respect to Lake Simcoe is a much different issue. What you have to realize is that the town of Georgina has authority to the shoreline. We have no authority with respect to the waters of Lake Simcoe. We rely on the Ministry of Natural Resources, the Conservation Authority, Department of Oceans and Fisheries, so it's both provincial and federal authorities that have jurisdiction. We do have some jurisdiction on some of the fishing piers, and the restrictions are more ministry restrictions than municipal restrictions when it comes to accessing that resource. We don't have bylaws officers that go out after 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So we will again rely on the resources of York Regional Police, who regularly enforce our bylaws anyways.
For Mr. Wong, does this sort of thing happen at any particular time? Is there, you talked about the other two areas where it was happening. Are there certain conditions that spark this sort of activity?
Well, I think it's different incidences in different the different occasions, and we're quite troubled that again I just restate that in the year 2007 that this would happen. So we have to come together, and we see the leadership from the mayor on this, and we're quite appreciative of it. And we will work with him and work with the City Council and work with the faith leaders and community leaders here to address this issue.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'm very interested in what is the response from the local residents about all these accidents?
The response from the local residents? Oh, it's okay. Here we go.
All of these guys.
You know, the people that I have the privilege of representing are ashamed and embarrassed that incidents like this would happen in this community. We usually read about these kinds of events happening in other communities, and that's why they've asked me to make the statements that I've made with respect to this community. This is it's unfortunate that some of you have probably never been here before, but if you come here in the summer and you see our beaches, you see the way we welcome people of all races, nationalities, creeds to this area to enjoy it on a regular basis, you would be surprised that these kinds of issues are being raised. We are a very welcoming community, and that's why when we first heard of these incidents, we relied on the resources of York Regional Police to investigate. We still believe that they're isolated incidents, but we will wait until their investigation is completed before we make any additional comments. Okay?
Mr. Mayor,
sure.
I was wondering from your perspective or from your council's perspective, is anything the fishermen they've been doing in their upset local community, say they litter the garbage, or maybe they speak loudly, or they just do something improper?
Geez, I don't know that, although I will tell you that we have asked York Regional Police to respond to the issues at hand. We are respectful of the resource, and we want everyone else to be respectful of the resource, which is Lake Simcoe. If there are those that are abusing that resource in any way, shape, or form, then we'll deal with that as a separate issue.
Are you all satisfied with the effort from York Regional Police to date?
You know, I've been elected official for 14 years now, I think, and York Regional Police, especially under the leadership of Chief Labarge, has been very responsive, very respectful, and I have complete faith in their investigative capabilities.
And the other two gentlemen?
Well, they're from Toronto.
Well, we were, again, in that article, September 26 in the Toronto Star, it appeared that the police had ruled out these incidents as being racially motivated. So in our statement, we did urge the police to undertake a full investigation and to involve the hate crimes experts. Now, we understand on September 27th they responded by issuing a news release to say that they will do that. So they have responded to the concerns that we have raised and other groups have raised around the investigation. Just a second, Michael just
Michael just wants to respond on it. So.
Yeah. And just briefly, B'nai B'rith issued a press release yesterday where we detailed all of these issues on October 1st. We're confident now that the resources have been put in by the police forces that they will pursue this to the extent that it needs to be pursued. Of course, there can always be further resources, but we're quite confident now that they've stated that they are treating this seriously, that it will continue and will be dealt as such.
Mayor, do you think the incidence of the home being vandalized and also the cars being vandalized in the areas is anything to do with connected with the fishermen themselves?
Gee, you know, I wouldn't even want to speculate. You know, from what we've heard so far, we think that they're isolated incidents. But I couldn't comment on, I'll let the investigative authorities deal with that. I don't think so, but I'll let them do the investigation.
Okay. Yeah, what do you mean by respecting the results of Lake Simcoe?
I think what we need to do is have a dialogue at some time down the road with respect to Lake Simcoe. There are the Ministry of Natural Resources, Oceans and Fisheries. They're all responsible for the resource, which is Lake Simcoe. And there have been issues raised throughout this community and other communities about times, fishing times, and private property and things like that. So those, I think they have there are issues, I guess, that people are raising as an aside to the main issue right now, which is something that shouldn't have happened. So we'll let the ministry and the Conservation Authority and all those other individuals comment, and if additional enforcement needs to be done, then we'll make sure that's done. Okay, great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you again, Michael. Great to meet you. Okay. Thank you, Victor.
I just want some basic information about Casper.
Okay. My name is Robert Grossi, Grossi. I'm the mayor of the town of Georgina, which includes the communities of Keswick, Sutton, and Pefferlaw, as well as some other smaller communities. I have a population of about 48,000 people in the town of Georgina. We encompass about 32 miles of shoreline along the beautiful shores of Lake Simcoe. And we're a welcoming, caring community, so come on and see us.
Is it famous resort area like boating?
Very famous. We have some major facilities. The Briars is a 5-star resort in Jackson's Point. We have Crates, which is the largest carver dealer in Ontario, in Keswick. This is a great community that welcomes everyone from the Greater Toronto area and the province of Ontario and nationally to come and enjoy the resources that are here in the town of Georgina.
After the newspaper reporting those incidents,
yes,
and then it seems that those similar incidents happens everywhere in Canada. Is that will be a copycat? I mean, something like that.
Well, I hope there's no more incidents like this. CCNC has worked on a number of them. Like I've mentioned, in New Brunswick there was one case, and PEI there was another case. So in this case here, we're quite troubled by the events, right? The assaults are quite troubling to us, and so that's why we issued a statement, and that's why we've been calling for some political and community leadership on this issue. So today we're up here with B'nai B'rith to meet with the mayor. I'm very thankful that the mayor has welcomed us. And you heard from the mayor, he, right off the bat, he apologized for the incidents, and it was quite unequivocal, his statement, that he condemned the attacks. So he's also taking steps to rally the community, to bring the community leaders and also the faith leaders and the education leaders together. And Michael from B'nai B'rith and myself, on behalf of CCNC, we've pledged to assist the community if it's needed.
My question is that, like, the CBC report this kind of incidents, and then it's become a national issue, and then also that, I mean, similar incidents happen everywhere. Would that be like a serious or isolated cases, or it's a copycat of incident?
See, I don't know whether it's isolated. The mayor said that, you know, it's possible that it's isolated, but again, you know, there's still an investigation. So I want to wait till the investigation runs its course. You know, we don't want to prejudge the investigation. Where I did have a concern was at the beginning, the police said that this is not racially motivated. Right? I had a concern that they had ruled off that situation before investigating. But now they are going to investigate. They are going to bring in the hate crimes experts. So we're pleased that the police have responded properly to this.